Hi, today I'm going to analyze the 9th game of the World Championship between Magnus Carlsen and Viswanathan Anand. Magnus Carlsen before the game had the lead with 2 points, so it was clear that Anand needed a win to somehow get a chance to get back into the match. And Anand was playing today with the white pieces, so everyone was expecting him to give it all and try to win somehow. First time in the match, Anand started with d4 and Carlsen responded with the Nimzo Indian defense by playing bishop b4 at this point. And there are a lot of moves in this position, and Anand chose a rather aggressive setup here with f3, obviously preparing to play in the center with e4. That's black to move, and Carlsen played d5, a3. And now this is pretty typical for Nimzo Indian. Black exchanges his bishop on c3, but on the other hand, white's pawn structure is slightly weakened. Now c5, black is continuing playing in the center. C takes d5, e takes d5, now e3, and now c4. Made a first little bit surprising move at this point. The idea of this move is to prevent white from playing bishop d3 and prevent white from putting the bishop on c2. So for example, if black plays castle and white could play bishop d3, follow up with knight e2, and if c4 now, white could put his bishop here, and it would be a nice square for the bishop. So c4 prevents that, but on the other hand, black closes the position and is not putting any pressure anymore on the center, while at the same time he is winning space on the queen side, and we will see in the game he's going to advance his pawns and try to create pressure on the queen side. White on the other hand has the center and can play in the center and try to push his pawns forward in the center. We will see exactly that in the game. Okay, so white is going to develop knight e2, knight c6, and now he has to put his bishop somewhere, so he played g4, which is actually the most played move in this position, to develop his bishop to g2, and we also see it's kind of an aggressive move, and we could be sure now that Anand is really attacking Carlsen in this game. Castle, bishop g2, and now a typical maneuver, knight a5, planning to put the knight on b3, and white can't really do anything about it. Castle, knight b3, rook a2, and now black advances his pawns on the queen side, b5. But white doesn't really care that much about it, just plays his play on the king side, knight g3, a5, g5, knight has to retreat, knight e8, and now pawn is hanging. White can simply protect by playing e4, and we see white is playing in the center now. And now white might want to develop his bishop to e3, so before he can do that, black exchanges it. Queen takes, and now rook a6. I think that's a useful move. Carlsen's idea is to protect the rook to be able to play b4 at some point, and maybe also the rook is useful on this 6th rank. Now it was maybe possible to counter his idea of b4 with playing rook b2, but Anand he just probably thought, I play on my side, I'm gonna mate black's king here, and we'll see in the game white just advances his pawns and is trying to mate black's king, and it's gonna be a really exciting game. I'm not really sure about Carlsen's plan. He played knight c7, but he could have played b4 immediately. I think it would have been slightly better, because if white now tries to win the pawn, you can see that black's pieces suddenly get really active. Queen b6, queen c3, now knight c7, and we see suddenly all of black's pieces are coming out, so black threatening knight b5, and is absolutely fine here. So I was not sure if knight c7 was necessary. Again, rook b2 was possible, but Anand just continued playing on the king side, f4, and now b4. So it was the idea of Carlsen to prepare this further. After the game, a lot of people said that Anand shouldn't have exchanged his pawn on b4, maybe just continue with his attack, playing f5, but still Plek has good counter chances here, playing knight b5. And if now a takes b4, a takes b4, rook takes a6, bishop takes a6, we see Plek puts pressure on the white pawns here. And if white is continuing his attack, f6, g6, possible move would be here to play e6, and trying to further attack, but Plek can always defend his position, and this position is approximately equal. Okay, let's go back. A takes b4, a takes b4, and now we see the knight needs some time to move to a6, and we see in the game that Carlsen actually plays the knight back to e8, so he loses a lot of time, and this was probably Anand's idea, and I can really understand that, because he thought if Carlsen loses so much time, then I can use that time to create a mating attack. Played f5, which is the principal move in this position. If he takes on b4, then Plek's knight gets into play and has a beautiful square on d3, and Plek is fine here. So f5, but now Carlsen can create a really dangerous pass pawn on b3. But Anand was not too worried about it yet. And here Anand spent a lot of time thinking about how to continue his attack. And he played queen f4 with the idea to bring the queen into attack. On the other hand, if the queen is on the king side here, then who's taking care of this pawn on b3? So this is kind of the downside to it. Another idea was to continue pushing forward the pawns with h4. But even though it looks really dangerous here for Plek, I couldn't find a way to really prove that white has an advantage. Plek, for example, could play bishop b7, and now with f6, Plek can just play bishop c8 again. And if white tries to open up the position of the king here, Plek has still resources to defend his position. Queen d7 here, important move in order to play queen g4 at this point. And Plek holds on. So queen f4, knight c7, knight gets back to protect the king. And now Anand played f6. Kasparov was actually watching the game, and he said maybe queen h4 was more flexible, and after knight e8 white has the additional possibility of playing knight h5, which is not possible in the game because the pawn is going to be on g6. But also here Plek has enough counterplay, b2, and now f6 g6. Now we see the reason behind this maneuver to play knight f4 and attack the pawn on d5. But Plek has his play too. He plays queen a5, knight takes d5, bishop e6, knight b4, now queen a3. And I looked at this position for quite a while, and I couldn't find a way to prove an advantage for white. In the end, all variations end up being equal, or end up in some kind of perpetual check or something alike. So it's really amazing that Plek really has enough defending resources. Okay, f6, g6, and Anand's idea to get the queen to g7 and mate Plek, but of course Carlsen doesn't like that, and he played knight e8. Good move. It's important that the knight moves to e8, because on e6 he's kind of in the way of the bishop, and white can actually play like in the game, and there will be one small difference which will have a huge impact. If it continues like in the game, I will just zip through the moves and we will see the point later. The difference is that here Black cannot defend against the mate. Just get to this position, and the difference is now with the knight on e8, Black could play bishop f5, and we'll see this a little bit later, but now there's no way to protect the pawn h7 and Black is going to be mated. So knight e8, and now Anand went all in, played queen h6. He could have played a little bit safer move here, knight e2, but still Black is okay. Plays bishop e7, now for example knight f4, queen a5. White could play bishop h3 here, which is also leading to a lot of complex variations. Maybe a little bit safer is knight takes e6, f takes e6, and queen f2, bringing back the queen, threatening f7, and now after rook f7, queen b2, and this position is again, yeah, equal. Dynamic equality here. Okay, queen h6. And simple plan of white is to play rook f4, rook h4, and mate on h7. And Black has to do something against it. And his only hope is really this passed pawn on the b file, b2. And now Anand played a crazy move if you think about it. He played rook f4, actually allowing Black to queen. He could have not played really rook b1, because now Black simply plays queen a5, and White's attack here is stopped. The knight on e8 stops the whole White attack, and now Black is starting his counter attack, and White cannot take on b2 because of queen a1, losing the rook. So rook f4 was indeed the best move. b1 queen, and now Anand made an incredible blunder. He actually didn't really even think about his move. He was maybe too confident, or I don't know, he was maybe too excited because he thought he was winning. But immediately after his move he saw that he just committed a terrible blunder. Knight f1. The only move was bishop f1. And now White still has this threat of rook h4, and Black has to do something against. So the only way is queen d1 to play queen h5. And now to take. The difference is that now Black can play bishop f5, defending pawn on h7. Black's just holding on. It's really on the edge. But now Black has an extra piece, but White has still some resources. Plays g6. Black has to take with the bishop because otherwise it's going to be mated. So bishop takes g6, rook g5. Now threatening to play h5, h4 and h5. And Black is really passive, is paralyzed. So he can't really do anything, except for he can immediately give the piece back by playing knight takes f6. And in this position we would expect a draw to be a most likely result. So queen f3, rook c5, queen takes c3, and takes here. We see material is equal, and yeah, it should be a draw here. Well, the knight f1, it's slightly different. Carlsen played queen e1, we see big difference now. Black simply is protecting square on h4 now. I just want to shortly show you what was Anand's idea. He just calculated queen d1, which would have been the move after bishop f1, and now he saw this beautiful combination, or beautiful way of winning the game, and I think that was the reason he got so excited about this beautiful variation that he simply didn't look for other candidate moves for Black, and then was too late. So here White can bring the knight to e3 and He's now threatening knight takes d5 followed by knight e7, which would be pretty deadly. So bishop e6, and now he has very nice move, bishop takes d5. Threatening now to play bishop e4 and mating on h7, and if black takes this bishop, then knight f5, and again the knight ends up on e7, and then black is simply lost because the king h8, the rook on f8 hangs, and it's mate. That was Anand's idea, but black can play queen e1 now, and Anand resigned this pawn, because if you place rook h4 now, black simply gives the queen for the rook, the whole attack of white is over, and black is simply going to develop his pieces, bring them out, and will easily win with the extra rook. So the most exciting game of the whole championship, but with such an sad ending for Anand. Well, it's gotta be said that even with bishop f1 the game would have probably ended in a draw, but still it would have gave some chances to Anand, at least to somehow in the last 3 games get back into a match. Now Carlsen only needs 1 draw of the last 3 games, and nobody really doubts that he's gonna make it. So thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Bye.